Well, hey there, Pharmacy Badass peeps. Dr. Lisa Faast here, and I want to talk to you today about vacations. Now, many of you and many of your patients are planning their summer vacations. We are coming up on the end of April, so we're about 6 weeks or so, 5 to 6 weeks out from official vacation start time. Obviously, vacations can happen any time of the year, but summer is a particularly heavy season, obviously, for vacation. Now, what does it have to do with pharmacy? What does it have to do with profit? Because obviously I love talking about pharmacy profit, and that's what we're here for. And I think I forgot to introduce myself, Dr. Lisa Faast from Diversify RX and Pharmacy Badass University. So let's talk about how vacations can tie to your pharmacy with profit, right? Like, how can we make some more money? And we make that money by serving our patients even better. One of the things that I loved doing in my pharmacy was travel consultations. And, what is a travel consultation? It was for people that were traveling usually to another country. I don't really think I did any travel consultations for like in the US, but it's usually once somebody was going overseas, whether it was Mexico, which was, not that actually far from where we lived, or, they're going Europe or Australia or the Outback or wherever, right? They're investing a significant amount of money and time into this trip, and they don't want to be sick, like whether it's sick from, a disease they get over there, or just sick from traveling, or feeling not their best, or eating different kinds of food. People want to feel good when they do those kinds of big investment travel plans. And so travel health services, I think, is a fantastic way to boost a lot of it is cash-based revenue. Not to say that some of it could be insurance, but a lot of it is cash-based revenue. And really just increase your value to your community in a unique way that I think is a little bit of a blue ocean. And so if you're not familiar with the blue ocean terminology, it means like there's just not a lot of competitors in there. Not every pharmacy on the block is specializing in travel health services. So I think this is where you could come in and you could do this for your community. And so what does a travel health consult look like? It's pretty much getting from the patient, who all was going, who was traveling, and where they were traveling to, and what time of the year, right? Like those are the basic things that I needed. And so then I would do a little bit of research on, where that was, where I did the research. Highly, highly recommend the CDC website for this. They got some really great resources. If they're going to Belize in December, that might be different than even Belize in June, right? Like there's different bugs and insects and those kinds of things. So I would look up those kinds of things and see what was going on in that country, right? What were some endemic diseases? What were common things? Is there mosquitoes? Is there mosquito-borne illnesses? Is there a lot of diarrhea? Those kinds of things. And then I would come up with some recommendations. And when I did this, it was long before, telehealth was easily accessible. But then I would usually call the patient's doctor and say, hey, doc, I met with your patients. They're going on this travel plan. Here's my recommendation. I think all the time the doctor's like, yeah, great, sounds good, thanks for doing that. And they would send over anything that needed a prescription. And then of course a lot of OTCs, whether it's anti-diarrheal, or even simple things like reminding them to take some Pepto tablets with them, some of the anti-nausea, whether it was the C-bands or things like that. There's a lot of stuff that's available over the counter too. And so you get paid for the consult, right? And then the patients get the prescriptions and buy their OTCs. And again, it's creating a lot of revenue and providing a very high value service. And what I would recommend nowadays is just to like bundle that all together into specific packages. And here at Diversify RX, we've made that super easy, all the way with telehealth. So we've partnered with RiskMD, and we'll put our links down below, but any pharmacy can use these links. There's no sign up process. The patient will use the link. You can use the link to share with your patient. So the link that I will put on there is to the homepage of the telehealth website. If you just want to do travel medication kits or whatnot, you would click into there, and you can obviously pull the specific link for the travel health webpage instead of the whole homepage. But free to use any of those links in there. No sign up process required. Does not cost you anything to refer to BriskMD. The patient pays the fee, and depending on what state you in, most states, I think it's up to like 45 or 44 states, are what's considered asynchronous states, meaning you do not have to meet live with the doctor. The patient fills out the form and an MD later evaluates it, and then they generate the prescription. There are the remaining states that are synchronous states that require a live conversation with the doctor. So if you're in one of those states that require a live conversation, the fee is $59. If you're in an asynchronous state, the fee is $35. And the patient can pay that. If you want to, you can bundle it all together and you could pay that fee. Like, there's no problem there if you just want to do like a one-time charge thing. Patient sees a doctor, and then when they're filling out their info, they put in the NCPDP number of the pharmacy, and then all the prescriptions come back to you. So it's really simple system, easy to use, fantastic providers. We're adding protocols. So you'll see if you go to the website, there's things there. There's some weight loss, there's some erectile dysfunction, there's the emergency kits or travel kits. And we're going to be continuously adding more. We've got several hundred protocols that we're getting through as fast as I can with the medical director. And but I think this travel health, even if you wanted to just carve away the prescriptions and you're like, hey, here's the recommendation, you take this to your regular doctor, no problem with that. I still think consults, like the way I used to do it without the telehealth, is still very, very valuable. It would drive a lot of the patients that we were looking for, tend to be the patients that were going on cruises and trips like that. They liked the services of our pharmacy. We were more of a, I don't know if I say luxurious pharmacy because that sounds weird, but we were full service, right? We weren't the chain pharmacy where they were just a number of like a cattle herd of patients. We treated our patients differently, often probably like you do, right? Like that's how independent pharmacies are. And so when we did travel consults, I would say probably near 100%, those patients became patients of the pharmacy. Like they loved it. They transferred over. It was just a really great way to kind of get paid for growing the pharmacy because they were paying for the consult and then doing that. So what I'd recommend is like, now's the time to start prepping for that. Even the simple things, like even if you're like, hey, I just don't know about the consult thing. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that, or I just don't have time. I'm the only pharmacist. You can do it if you're the only pharmacist. I've done it. You could do them on, Saturday afternoons and the evenings and the mornings. Like, you definitely can do it. But I understand if you have a little bit of trepidation. At the very least, just create a travel section in your over-the-counter section. And it could have all the things that are OTC. I mean, everything from sunscreen and bug spray to tick twisters to the anti-diarrheals, the anti-nausea, all those kinds of things that are over-the-counter, and make it easy for those patients. Because if they're like me, they're planning their summer trips now. And so I just finished booking my hotels. Flight's been booked for a little while, but just finished booking the hotels and the train rides between some cities and things like that. And so I bet you a lot of people in your area too. And so they're going to be looking for these things as we get closer and closer to summer. And it also turns into a little bit of impulse buys. Not everybody's a super planner, and they'll be coming in and get their prescription and they're like, oh, wait, we didn't grab sunscreen for that beach trip. So if you put all that kind of summer travel section, you will definitely generate some more revenue for your OTCs. And we all know that those are profitable and they're cash-based, which is a win-win situation. So I encourage you, look at travel health services, whether you dial that, all the way where you're doing consults and telehealth and all of that, or you dial it all the way the other way and you're just putting it up an OTC section, or anywhere in the middle. There is somewhere that you and your pharmacy can take advantage of this. Doesn't take that long to implement. And, if you need help and you want support doing this, I mean, that's what we do for our Pharmacy Badass University members. So feel free to come join us on the lovely side of pharmacy ownership, where we help you make more profit and, have a less chaotic life, owning a pharmacy as much as possible. And we'll help you actually implement the thing that you want to do. So whichever way you go, I just think it's a great opportunity. These patients are needing these supplies. And if you don't make it easy to buy from you, they will buy from someone else. And we don't want that. And I don't want that. And frankly, your patients don't want it either. They want, they prefer more one-stop things. They prefer convenience. They prefer easy. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. Happy to answer any questions. And I'll put the resources, like the links and whatnot, in below as well. That way you can just get up and going. You don't have to do anything complicated to start referring people to a telehealth that's convenient, affordable, and we'll send the prescriptions back to you. So it doesn't really have to be hard. We just got to take steps and get it done. So hopefully they find that helpful. Take advantage of the travel season, the summer season, and boost those revenues and profits, guys. Let me know how it goes. I love to hear feedback, right? I love to hear how it goes. So let me know how it goes, and I look forward to hearing it. So adios, guys. Bye-bye.